Alright, what is up, everybody? Dragon Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of Super Mario Bros. For the NES. The last episode, actually, that I talked about a while ago, but was actually not able to follow through on till now because, well, my schedule has been quite busy and just working through class and with college and everything. They've been and other just things just taking up a lot of my life schedule. So it's been harder and harder for me to get to to over here so I can record a new video. But I am still working on some new projects. This is just some stuff where I wanted to clean my slate and do the stuff that I said I was going to do before I move on to my cool new thing that I want to do and I am going to do. And I want to try something different when it comes to the reveal of what that project will be, because I feel pretty confident in my editing skills along with other things. But we'll see that when we get there. This episode is really just going to be dedicated to showing the cool little Easter eggs and other things that I was not able to show previously when I had played this game originally, because I played through it a little too honestly and wasn't using any glitches, shortcuts, warps, or anything like that. But this is going to be the video that shows you how all that goes. But to start off with this video of cool shortcuts and Easter eggs and all that fun stuff, is what if we end up following through on Peach's request of start a new mission in this game? Well, what it does is that if you are to start over after beating Bowser for the first time, that is not a Goomba, that is a Buzzy Beetle. And what it really does here is if you start the game over after beating Bowser for the first time, is that the game will loop around, but all of the enemies that you previously defeated will be harder. And it does potentially, I believe it does this a couple times, but then eventually reaches, it does reach a point where it doesn't get much harder. But yes, this is what happens if you continue and go to another world or mission, as Princess Peach implies after beating Bowser for the first time. Everything else is mostly standard, except since these are no longer Goombas, well, they're not going to be vulnerable to the fire flower, because Buzzy Beetles are fireproof. Now, when I just died there, well, not died, but I lost my power up, which kind of sucks. But yes, I think you guys kind of get the point. I think I'll go through it just to get through this level, because there is actually something else in this level, if I may, and it'll actually lead to the other thing that I want to show, if I can get there. Let's see, get rid of you guys, and then I'm gonna jump up here. Give me my mushroom. I have no idea what that noise I made just was. I don't know if that picked up on the camera or not, but I'm gonna hope that it didn't. But I really had fun. I really wanna play more of these classic games. Actually, I think I skipped over it, but there was a 1-up back there, unfortunately, that I had skimmed over. But this is what happens if you were to go through it again and all that stuff. I don't really ever think I've actually made it all the way to the end. When replaying it, I just played it as a fun challenge to see how far I can really make it. But yes, for the next glitch, secret that I want to show off here is actually in this level 1-2, where you can break the blocks on the ceiling, and if you are able to, I think there's actually, I'm going to do it in a lot better spot. I'm not going to do it there, because I'm going to run over here and grab my very fun star. Grab that. Get rid of you guys. Yep, I'm just going to get rid of you guys. And then I'm going to jump up here and run up on the ceiling, where it may not be as cool of idea now with all the cool things we have in games, but it is pretty funny, especially back then, to see if you found this out back then, of Mario just running on top of the scoreboard. And if we jump up here, we can skip past the main entrance and go into this warp area, where I believe I am going to go to... there's a couple things I could do. I think I'm going to go to 4-2, actually. And I will meet you guys back, or rather where the next set of shortcuts and fun things are. For your first time, it all kind of remains true or the same, is that if you do what you did in 1-2, if I can do it, I believe it's a little bit trickier. Yeah, you could do this here, but I'm actually going to create a save point here because I'm gonna want... However, if you end up not doing the thing like you would do in 1-2, where you'd run across the ceiling, there is this alternative little hiding spot of a secret that I feel like is a lot more rewarding than the original secret, if I can sneak in there. Come on. Do I need to get hurt to do this? I don't know, but I don't want to... Now, if you alternatively do not want to do the method that you would use in 1-2, or in this level where you run across the ceiling, there's also this alternative, which I feel like is a lot more of a rewarding secret. If there it is, there's this vine here that you can end up running across. Let's see if I can do it as Little Mario. I die as soon as I get there. Gosh. 1-2 or 4-2, you can find this vine, which has a lot more of a rewarding secret to it if you end up going this route, which will lead you to this high up in the clouds. I'm very high up, Mario. Must be from all the mushrooms. But anyway, it'll lead you to this little thing that will take you to World 6, 7, or 8. And that's a pretty cool little detail. I have not used this one as much because it was not as ingrained in my brain. But you can just jump over to World 6, 7, or 8. And that's a pretty cool thing. Alternatively, there are a lot of 1-ups in this game, but there is a secret 1-up right here in 1-1, which is really nice. There are a lot of different ways to get 1-ups in this game, which I will be showing, or should be showing, right now. Man, oh man, oh man, I have spent a long time away from the microphone and doing videos because of college finals, and college finals really kicked me in the ass. But in terms of more of these fun secrets and things, I've kind of decided to get this video out to you guys that I'm not going to be able to show every secret, unfortunately, or at least not be able to recreate it. So what I'm going to do is, if I am not able to recreate the secret in some way, then I will probably just end up showing what I'm trying to show. And in this case, what I was talking about before was about the a lot of lives glitch where you can use a turtle to get a bunch of lives, which I'll try to demonstrate, but I will not. I don't think I'll really be able to do it. There's a way. Yeah, no. Okay, because there is a way to do it, but it's just really particular, and my cat is freaking the heck out, so I'm going to go see what he's doing. Alright, and we're back, and it turns out my cat was really just being my cat. But yes, what I wanted to show was that there is a way, and I might just pull up a GIF of it if I am able to find it, but I am not able to do it or recreate it myself, and it's just, that's why I've never really used it. There's also another thing connected to this, to where if you're able to get more than 10 lives, I can't remember if it's in the Famicom version only, or if it's in the NES version as well, but a little crown will appear by the amount of lives you have, which some people thought back then that it was actually a glitch rather than part of the actual game. But that crown only appears when you have gotten 10 lives or more. Alright, for the next demonstration, I'm going to see if I am able to recreate the minus world glitch. If, let's see, that's probably not gonna work. Let's see. Just really not working for me. Maybe it's easier with the NES controllers, I'm not really sure, but I will show what happens when you run out of time in this game, because this is another thing I have on my agenda to show you guys that I've never actually been able to show, because I've never actually ran out of time in the time that I played this game. And I guess it would be fairly obvious, but you just end up dying, and because of time up, I died. Oh boy. But yeah, that is that whole thing. And then, let's see. Don't think there's anything else for me to really show here. But there's one thing I actually do want to mention before I continue, is that in the Famicom or top loader versions of the minus world glitch, there are actually more than one minus world, in the sense that with the top loader and the Famicom, you can just remove the NES game, put in like the NES Mario Bros. Game, take it out, put another game in, and it'll start playing that game, but it'll be a little bit glitched out. You put Mario Bros. Back in, and it will freak the game out, and because it doesn't delete the code like the NES does of the game that was previously loaded, it will freak the game out into loading some freakish, really crazy different worlds that you would not be able to access normally. So that is where I'm going to continue into my next thing. Alright, another part that I actually wanted to talk about here briefly was that there is a thing, and I've seen it before, but it's actually a lot more complicated than what people would probably think for a 41-year-old game, is that jumping over the flagpole is something that I wanted to mention, because while I know it can be done, it is a thing of just like, I really don't understand how people are able to do it, because I've seen it happen before, but it's very hard to replicate, and I'm gonna go back there now where I'm actually able to show that it's there, because it's just like, man, the thing is about it, lost my thing, because I was too busy in thought, but it's just really funny that you think games, that came out that long ago would have a lot more easy ways to do that, but honestly it's pretty solid in how they didn't have you able to do that. Again, it is possible, but I want to mention this, that it is possible, even though it's a lot harder than you'd probably, I messed up my jump, but it's harder than most would probably actually think on actually trying it, but I wanted to bring this in to that part. There's also another thing that I will meet you guys when I'm at a castle to show, because that's where we're going next. well, looks like I'm not going to be able to show it, but I wanted to talk about it, was that in this game, if you are able to do a thing where you are able to jump over Bowser or go under him and hit him at the same time as you touch the axe that drops the bridge, it will end up causing a glitch to happen that when you get a power-up, it will freak the game out and you will be able to achieve a state called Small Fire Mario, where he will become briefly big for a very small amount of time, and then he will... oh god. He will become... well, okay, anyway. He will become small for a very brief... like, big... I can't speak. He'll become big for a brief amount of time, and he will still shoot fireballs, but he will look like the small Mario, which is very, very funny. Now, I guess another thing to check on my box of fun little things is that if you hold the A button before pressing the start button, it'll take you back to whatever world you left off at. In this case, I was at 1-4, which is not that far in the game, but this is just for the purpose of showing cool, fun glitches and Easter eggs and all that kind of fun stuff. Which is why I will meet you back at the next little Easter egg / glitch that I'm going to show. Alright, and for this little Easter egg, which isn't always directly noticeable, but I think it's still very fun, is that if you listen to this here, the going down a pipe sound effect, and when I'm able to show it, taking damage, have the exact same sound effect. Yeah, which is pretty fun and nifty little way to reuse sound effects, especially for a game like this of its time. But yeah, that is what I wanted to show for that, and there is only a few more things left that I wanted to show, which I will show coming up here in a moment, which I don't even have to skip, so yay. No, the firework one where if you end the flagpole, I believe on a 1, that was a 2, so I'm guessing 1, 2, 3, or a 6, it will cause the fireworks to show up, which I believe I talked about in this video actually beforehand. But for my next little thing that I wanted to show is that if you have the 2-player option selected, or if you just have 2 controllers connected, let's see if it works with this here. Oh wait, no, it has to be, okay. So I will actually see you guys in a moment. Here we go, in which case I did not know that that Luigi looked like that in this game. He already looks like he's in his mini fire form counterpart, or rather, if you do the glitch for that. But what I wanted to show in this case is that if you are playing as player 2, whether it be with siblings or other people, you can just, player 1 can just straight up just pause player 2, which is a very funny but also very annoying thing to have added for that if you are playing with siblings or things like that. I'm sure if you were an older sibling and you discovered that, you would use that to, and you play this with your siblings, you would have used that to annoy your siblings. But that is a fun little thing that you can do if you are playing with siblings or with friends. Now, this will lead into, I believe, our last little thing for this Easter egg hunt, or glitch run, I suppose. And the last thing that I ended up wanting to talk about is the different worlds and what each disguised Bowser, other than this one where it is in World 8, what the other enemies are if you are able to use a Fire Flower, a star, in some way if you were to get that to a Bowser castle or otherwise, is that in World 1, it is dressed up as a Goomba. In Castle 2, it is a Koopa disguised as Bowser. In World 3, it is disguised as a Buzzy Beetle. In Castle 4, it is disguised as a Spiny. In Castle 5, it is disguised as Lakitu. Curse you, Lakitu, I hate Lakitus. In World 6, it is disguised as a Blooper. and in World 7, it is disguised as a Hammer Bro, which is all really cool. And I'm honestly surprised that they didn't reference that in the Mario Galaxy movie. Maybe they will end up referencing it in the Mario Galaxy, well, not in the Mario Galaxy movie, but in the next Mario Galaxy movie, where they end up showing like Bowser, and if you attack him, it ends up being a disguised character. There's a lot of room for that in the next movie. But that is pretty much going to do it for this last little video about Easter eggs and all that kind of fun stuff in the NES Mario Bros. Series. So, I'm sorry if this video, it took a long time to come out, mainly just because of college finals and everything, but also because, man, the editing in this video is going to be very weird. Hopefully it won't be like that going forward, but just from being off and just having to edit all these clips into one is going to be very strange. But yeah, I wanted to get this out there, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, see you guys next time in my next project.